What's up, everybody? Sean here, back with you guys for Week 12 picks in the NFL season. And man, oh man, am I on fire lately. I went 3-1 again last week. That brings my record on the year to 25-18-1. 25-18-1 against the spread. Let that sink in. I am on fire this year, so I'm pretty happy about that. I liked a lot of games this week, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys 8 games total. And after I give my picks, Jeff Mysterio will be on to give his. Going with a little bit more of a traditional format this week where I am going to speak about the games and then Jeff will speak about his games. I'm not going to do all the fancy editing I did last week. Frankly, it was too time consuming and I got a lot of mixed reviews on it. Some people hated it, some people loved it. I personally thought it was hilarious. Some people did not. First up, I'm going to give you guys the Dallas Cowboys, who are actually -1 at the moment over the Carolina Panthers. Dallas being -1 is a very interesting thing because you've got a 3-7 team against an undefeated 10-0 team, and you've got them being favored. But Tony Romo's back, and the Cowboys looked pretty good last week. They had a little bit of rust. You could see Romo had some rust going on him. And Carolina looked awesome last week. So it's really one of those games where you're like, how can you pick the Cowboys? I've been really good at picking the Cowboys these last 5 years that I've done these. It's been really weird. And I just have a feeling that the Cowboys are going to win this game outright. And I think the Cowboys are going to actually win all of their games from here on out. They're going to run the gauntlet, and they're actually going to end up winning the NFC East. So let's go with the Cowboys here, +1 to win this game in a shocker. I guess it really wouldn't be a shocker, though, would it? Or -1. Did I say +1? -1. Let's go with the Cowboys to win this game outright. It's so weird to say -1 for a 3-7 team. Let's go with the Cowboys -1 here. And, of course, I like them to win outright as well. The next game we're going to look at is the Detroit Lions, who are -2 over the Philadelphia Eagles. I like Detroit to win this game here because the Philadelphia Eagles, frankly, are falling apart at the seams. There's reports that Chip Kelly is going to basically leave at the end of the year, go back to college. He's not happy with the organization. The organization's not happy with him. It's up in the air as to whether Sanchez or Bradford will start. It doesn't really seem like it matters at this point. Our receivers are crap. The offensive line isn't that good. DeMarco Murray is being called out by teammates, saying that he's basically given up. Darren Sproles and Mark Sanchez were ready to kill each other last week, but instead Darren Sproles took his frustration out on that gunner for the punt team. Just wrecked him. If you haven't seen that, go to Bleacher Report. I think they had the video of it. So I like Detroit here, -2. As bad as Detroit's been all year, Philadelphia has just been really bad as of late. I mean, when you get blown out, by Tampa Bay the way they did last week, I mean, what's left in your season? A rookie quarterback at that, just destroyed you. So I don't really see how they're going to stop Detroit this week, and I think Detroit will be the better team here. So let's go with Detroit -2 over Philadelphia. And next we're going to go over to the night game on Thanksgiving, which is going to see Green Bay, who is -8.5, taking on Chicago. Now, Green Bay has struggled as of late, but I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a breakout game here. I see him throwing like 4 touchdowns, maybe like 400 yards, just going off and showing people like, hey, you guys have been kind of doubting me lately. You guys have been basically saying, we're struggling and my play's struggling, and somebody had blamed it on Olivia Munn. He's going to come out and have a statement game here and just absolutely go off. And the Packers are going to win this game big. So let's go with Green Bay -8.5 over Chicago. The next game I want to look at is the Atlanta Falcons, who are -1 over the Minnesota Vikings. I like Atlanta here, -1. Atlanta has kind of struggled since starting off undefeated. I think they started off like maybe 6-0 or maybe 4-0. I forget exactly what it was. And then now they've kind of been in a slump. Minnesota, meanwhile, I just don't believe in them. I just don't think they're that good of a team. I don't believe in Teddy Bridgewater. I don't believe in the talent on the offense besides Adrian Peterson. Their defense is okay. It's not bad. I think it's pretty solid. But, I mean, I think that Atlanta here is just going to win this game, especially after a disappointing loss against Indianapolis last week. So let's go here with Atlanta -1 over the Minnesota Vikings. The next game I want to look at is the Indianapolis Colts, who are -3 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Indianapolis, of course, had that big win over the Falcons. It seems playing with a healthy quarterback is what they needed all along to get some wins. Andrew Luck playing banged up was not working for them. Hasselbeck gets to start again here this week, and I like Indianapolis to go ahead and win this game. I know Tampa Bay just had that humongous game against Philadelphia, but that was more of an aberration. That was more of a Philadelphia team falling to pieces in front of our eyes, more so than it was Tampa Bay's coming out party and becoming some kind of elite team that just can chuck the ball down the field at will, and Jameis Winston can just throw 5 TD passes every game. So let's go with Indianapolis here, -3. The next game we're going to look at is the Oakland Raiders, who are -1.5 over the Tennessee Titans. Oakland was on a really, really, really huge hot streak, and then all of a sudden they kind of fell off. I think they get back to that and they wipe out a pretty weak Tennessee Titans team here. And, you know, of course, minus 1.5 isn't that many points to give up. So let's go with Oakland here, minus 1.5 over Tennessee to win big. The next game we're going to look at is the Denver Broncos, who are +3 over the New England Patriots. Forget the +3. I mean, that's what we're going to take them against the spread as. But I like Denver to win this game outright. New England barely pulled out a win last week against Buffalo. They're not looking nearly as good on offense without Julian Edelman, who is out for possibly the year. And they had a couple more injuries that they just suffered against the Bills. Now we're not sure if those guys are going to play or not play. I just don't see how the Patriots can win this game against a really tough Denver defense. And Brock Osweiler actually played really well last week, so I expect Brock to have another big game this week, and he's really, really going to get people talking about whether or not Peyton Manning should even play when he comes back. So let's go with Denver to win this game outright, but I also like them +3. And the final game I'm going to look at this week is Cleveland, who is minus 2.5 over Baltimore. Cleveland is starting Josh McCown after saying they were going to start Manziel all year because Manziel was ended up partying or whatever else. Frankly, that's the right decision to start McCown anyway. Josh McCown has looked better than Manziel when he's been in. McCown has been pretty effective. If you look at his stats, he's got pretty good numbers on the year. Meanwhile, Baltimore has lost Joe Flacco for the year to an ACL tear, and they've lost Justin Forsett to a broken arm. Baltimore's going in here with backups, whereas Cleveland's got their starters at least playing. And Cleveland really hasn't been that bad of a team this year, and Baltimore hasn't been that good either. So I like Cleveland here to cover the 2.5 and win this game. So let's go with Cleveland, minus 2.5 over the Baltimore Ravens. All right, that's going to do it for my picks this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this special, first time ever in 5 years, giving more than 4 games, giving 8. So now let's send it over to Jeff Mysterio and see what he likes this week.
So my picks this week. Carolina, +1 over Dallas. Carolina hasn't lost yet. Dallas is probably going to win. Pick against me, but I'm picking Carolina. My next pick, I'm going with Detroit, -2 over Philly. The Eagles are awful. That's all I need to say. And my final pick for my Thanksgiving picks is Green Bay, -8.5 over Chicago. Don't know if Alshon Jeffrey's playing, and they've not been a good team. Green Bay knows how to win. Those are my picks. Eat some turkey. See you later.